Hey, what's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? This is another Brian Speaks On topic. I am Brian, the creator and moderator of Brian Speaks On video log website at youtube.com and Facebook. For those who know me, I am usually speaking on a broad topic, but I use a specific incident that speaks as a jumping off platform into a much broader topic of a subject. And fortunately for me, there's always something happening that gives me the perfect example to talk about something on a much broader spectrum. And while I've got a couple of topics in my head that I'm definitely going to get to, I wanted to go with what's most recent right now and point out something that it's going to be an ironic kind of thing to say, but hopefully I'll be able to articulate it in a way that it makes sense. I wanted to talk about the recent phenomena, even though it's been going on for a little while now. Now it's to the point where it's like more than just joke fodder, and that is the phenomena of Donald Trump and his rising status within the Republican GOP with all these him winning all these delegations and stuff with these primaries. And I want to say that I think that this is probably one of the best things that has happened for America in a very long time. Now, once again, me saying that sounds incredibly sarcastic and ironic, but although I am somewhat being sarcastic, I'm not. And the reason I say that this is probably the best thing that has happened for America is that it finally gives us the ability, if we do this the correct way, to stop with the charades with each other. Because this right here is the opportunity that has presented itself. It's kind of created this mass taking off of the veil. This whole PC-oriented society where everybody has to be careful in what they say and how they say it, mask their true feelings, mask who they truly are, so that we can somehow act like we live and exist and coexist on some peaceful medium ground. And a lot of us know that that has not been the case. It's just something that gets put out there for like some type of individual PR sake. It's like everybody is their own individual public relations specialist now in America. You don't want to project yourself in a certain way because you know that there are traps and pratfalls involved in that. Things that can affect you on an individual level. Like if you say something that's a little too bombastic or a little too salacious, you can get fired from your job or something to that effect. Now, this platform gives so many people the opportunity to reveal who they truly are in their attitudes towards others and in their attitudes to what they think in their logic represents this ideal of what the country should be and how it should be run, without getting into trouble. Because all it does is just it gives you the freedom to vote for who you want to vote for. What Trump has been able to do is he has been able to be the mouthpiece for these people, because he can't get in trouble for it, because he's basically exercising his rights to run for president. It's funny how, of course, during this whole circus, he's been able to say things about practically every demographic of person outside of middle-aged white person in a negative sense, and yet still be hailed as this honest speaking, he doesn't hold back his, he says it like it is type, Whereas anybody else that does that gets vilified and basically tied up to the stake and roasted. And I'm not even talking about individual, average Joe people. I'm talking about anybody else of any public platform. God forbid. I don't want to throw out the obvious and say, what if Obama said that about Jews, or something like that. What if Bernie Sanders said something like that? What if Hillary said something like that? Even though we know that there have been some, a couple little comments here and there that are very sketchy from her lately. Not a good look for you. But again, it just goes back to what I was, staying on him. He has succeeded in this campaign of vitriol. But again, he is merely a symbol of the platform of people in which he speaks for. So you can get mad at him as an individual all you want. Who you really should be concentrating your attention to is all these people that he speaks for, because he only speaks to his audience. If he had no audience, then this wouldn't exist. That's the thing that needs to be kept in mind. Now, I say that this is the best thing that has happened because it takes away the fakeness that has been, thrown upon us for all these years. This whole lie that, this country is so post-racial now. We're just so far away from the bad old days when people thought like this and blah, blah, blah. All of this stuff that they've been trying to feed us for all these years has now been exposed as a lie through this measure. Because there's this kind of a saying, I'll paraphrase it, it's like, go with the devil that you know. I'd rather know what you really think than for you to smile in my face and talk behind my back. Because now I know who you are, and now I can deal with you accordingly. See, now this has given us a better statistical estimate of just how many people really exist like this in this country. And I bet you the numbers are far and overwhelmingly more than what these other idealist people thought. Because it didn't fool black people. I can tell you that right now. We've always been receptive and aware of this. We were the ones that were being accused of seeing things that weren't there, being paranoid at things that didn't exist. We were exaggerating numbers and just being butthurt all the time. Now you're starting to see that numbers don't lie. People lie. See what I'm saying? Now, the people that were affected by this and subsequently on the fence and or a little bit against black people saying things like this were basically the liberal white people, who at their core are not consciously against black people or consciously racist, but they practice things that still perpetuate, anti-black movements without them knowing or realizing. And again, when you ignore what a person is telling you, you basically support what's going on. And when people are telling you we are being mistreated at a disproportionate rate, and it has always been that way, and you say, come on, man, those days are long gone, man, you're just being, overly sensitive and looking for stuff. See what you were supporting? Without realizing it, you were supporting that. Now, you're sitting there scratching your head, wondering how a buffoon like Trump is in the position that he's in. Oh my God, I can't believe that this makes no sense. This is like some sick joke that's just been going on for too long now. You're shocked. We're not. Because we always knew that this was the underlying situation. This was what was, going on just beneath the surface all this time. Sometimes what happens is, when you go blind, your other senses become, more acute. Your hearing, your sense of smell, you can hear and smell and touch things on a more sensitive level than the average person. That's kind of like the effect of being black in America, is you can sense and detect things like this better than when you grow up in an environment that is not predicated on race, and you don't have to be aware of such things, which is basically the textbook definition of privilege. When you live a privileged life, you don't develop that kind of radar. It's like when you don't grow up in the hood, you don't detect certain things that people who grew up from the hood have a natural radar for. It's not your fault that you don't have it, but when you've been enlightened to another person's experience and they're telling you something, when you consciously ignore that and you try to basically use a particular kind of logic to minimize it and make it that it doesn't, when you try to put it back into your paradigm of what you believe, then that's how you contribute. So basically I say all this to say that please just be aware of what you're contributing to, and be aware of the societal impact that this is having, and just understand that when you ignore certain aspects of what's going on, you contribute to other things that you might not be in support of. So take this as a learning lesson. Pay attention to what's going on out here, because sometimes it's really right in front of your face and you're just ignoring it. So with that, I want to say bless up. As you can see, certain people are awake now, so I need to cut this short, and I want to wish everybody a blessed one. Later.